And we're live with another podcast. Mike here. And we're pretty happy now. Back-to-back wins for the Flyers. But
for the first time this season, by the way.
even with the wins, I still have some complaints I might make later in this podcast. Because, can't get enough of those with Hakstol leading the team. But I guess we can kind of get right into it. Not much really going on league-wise, but kind of something that's gone on since the beginning of the season that's been brought up a couple times by goaltenders and everything, of the new modifications to their paddings and everything.
Yes. So basically, the NHL and NHLPA, they add new they add new chest arm pad rules for the goalies. So the guidelines aim to eliminate equipment advantages, so that way they can increase scoring. So according to Rule 11.3, chest and arm pads is 608 words long. It states the chest and arm protector worn by each goaltender must be anatomically proportional and size specific based on the individual physical characteristics of that goaltender. Then gives precise measurements for elbow, arm, clavicle, and shoulder protection. Elbow floaters have been reduced from 7 inches to 6 across the front. The bicep and forearm pads must taper 5.5 inches to 4.5, then 4.5 to 4. Clavicle floaters cannot extend more than 2 inches above the shoulder at the lateral edge, 1.5 at midpoint, and 0.5 inches at the medial edge. And shoulder caps cannot project laterally beyond shoulders more than 1.5 inches. So,
Yeah.
but in
and
short,
they're thinking of it was kind of a way to kind of get scoring up, I guess.
Yes.
Because for some reason, I guess they thought the scoring was down, even though the past couple of years with the new talent that keeps coming into the NHL, it's kind of been more high scoring.
Yeah,
than
and especially
at any
players,
other time that I remember.
Exactly, especially with young players like Austin Matthews.
And with
Connor
this,
McDavid.
even with this, like I think I remember maybe one of the past Flyers games or something, they said like the save percentage has gone down this season. The average save percentage has gone down because of the new changes.
And they were mentioning during the game on last night's broadcast, someone said, I think it was, they were talking about Brian Elliott.
Yeah.
He
doesn't like
the changes.
A bunch of other goalies. Sergei Bobrovsky's another one.
Yes, and they don't want to make saves as much in practice, really, just
and
because it actually hurts.
They say it hurts.
Yeah, it does. And it was funny because
and
years ago, and they also mentioned this on the broadcast, Keith Jones did actually. He said years ago when he was still playing and when he was in Colorado, and he was on the same team as Patrick Waugh at one point, and he said some points he couldn't wait to get Patrick Waugh out of the net because for the starting goaltender, they weren't allowed to shoot like I guess I don't know if it was like as hard or
right.
up to a certain point, like body-wise. So he was saying, I can't wait for the backup to come in so I can just take all the shots I want.
Right.
But it's really interesting, though, because the article I found on NHL.com posted back on September 16th, the very first paragraph, something jumps out right away to me. It says, the process began 3 years ago when the late Ed Snyder, owner of the Philadelphia Flyers, spoke at a competition committee meeting in New York. The NHL and the NHL Players Association have been discussing ways to improve the game, and Snyder focused on a big issue, goalie gear. And Kay Whitmore, the NHL VP of Hockey Ops, said Snyder made an impassioned plea to the group to say, guys, we can still do more in this area. We think they're still too big. I think we owed it to him to follow through and get it done once and get it done right. So I didn't even know this, but it sounds like Mr. Snyder had a big part to do with this change in goalies.
Or
at least start the movement or a conversation, So I thought that was just very interesting.
The other option would have been to make the nets bigger, but they didn't want that. And I actually found an article before we got on from CBC. And it's kind of an article about Elliott saying that he's not a fan of it. The article title is just, or he says in a quote that the first couple days of practice you're making saves and you almost don't want to get in the way of pucks sometimes. Like guy is shooting high and you've got to take it on the arm. it kind of takes away from what you need to do to perform at your job. What do you think of that quote?
I think it's a great quote because it speaks a lot, and especially you definitely feel how strongly Elliot feels about this kind of thing. And it does make sense on why he would say that because, you're called the target for a reason.
Yeah.
You're the goalie. Pucks are going to hit you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But the fact that, they have less protection, there is actually a chance for more injury.
Exactly. And I don't really know if these are really related towards the padding.
Right.
I feel like more goaltenders have been hurt this season.
Oh, for sure. And
Quick's back on the IR, but I don't know what his injury was.
Right. No, it was actually this particular knee injury is a knee injury. I forget what his injury was before, but Quick is back on the IR. I did see this just the other day. I made a note of it on Twitter, but I think he has some sort of knee injury, which is
probably he's probably getting some kind of surgery or something if he's out for 4 months or however long he is out for a while.
Here it is.
Sorry, I don't know how long he's out for.
A torn meniscus in his knee. Yes,
that hurts.
So yeah, he'll. But yeah, earlier this season, Quick was forced to go on the IR and missed 5 games due to a lower body injury.
Probably the same thing.
Most likely. Head coach John Stevens noted after practice on October 30th, injuries do happen and not sure there's anything in particular he can point to in the situation. I think he's done a good job of really staying on top of everything. He's preventative maintenance, his daily routine, so if these things happen, sometimes you have to deal with them.
Right.
But so the Kings called up Peter Budaj from the Ontario Reign to back up Jack Campbell as the Kings took on the Flyers last night.
But actually, before we get on to the Flyers
game
and everything, they also mentioned in the broadcast last night that even Elliot doesn't even take part of
the morning
skate
that's his new
because
routine. Yes, some goalies have particular routines, which I kind of like.
It's a routine of his, but I also think it's because he doesn't want to.
And that's fair. And I kind of like that because I think they even mentioned on the broadcast that, as for Elliot, he was mentioning to them or just mentioned to the media, he wants to be completely fresh for the game.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be sore.
No.
Because think about it this way. If you're practicing in the morning during the morning skate and you take a bad shot somewhere and you get hurt, well, then you're screwed.
Exactly.
And you can't play. So I certainly think that I agree why the goaltenders don't like it.
Yeah.
The only question is where do you go from now, you know? So we'll see.
I didn't realize there was a problem with the goaltending padding to begin with, but that was just me.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the game last night, and
the Flyers,
the Kings really showed why they're 3-8-1 this season.
Yeah, it's
it was not a good showing for them.
I don't know, because
I don't know.
The whole game they certainly struggled.
I thought for a second maybe at the end of the second because they got back to within one with Kovalchuk scoring. Okay, this is going to be where they come back.
Yeah, I honestly thought that
that didn't really happen.
Right,
that was their last goal.
But reviewing the game so far, the Flyers they came out on fire.
Yeah, they did.
Throughout the whole game, except for the late in the second, they looked really sharp, and LA just looked a little sloppy. The Flyers, they have Ivan Provorov after. And we're going to be talking about this goal for a while.
Not because of the goal itself.
Yes, but how it happened. So Jordan Wheel made a great play to get the puck to Dale Weiss.
And then Dale Weiss got the puck
Yes. But Dale Weiss, I think, did he go to pass originally?
No, he was going to shoot, and then he whiffed.
But he completely whiffed on the puck, and that actually caused Campbell to kind of misplay
but then
the puck.
He skated down a little more, found Provorov, and
he just potted the puck right into the net for a nice, easy opener. 1-0
Back-to-back
Flyers.
games was a goal, too, for Provorov.
Yes. And back-to-back games where the Flyers score first. This is now their third time all
this
season
time they
long.
actually, get a... No, I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was 1-1 after the first against
No.
Anaheim, but the second time they took a lead into the first period.
Yes. And then later in about midway throughout the second, Jeff Carter, his third of the year, assisted by Anze Kopitar and Ilya Kovalchuk.
Guess where
on
this
the
one was
power
scored
play.
on? There we go.
Yep. Ta-doom. But
Because that never happens.
yes. But here's the crazy part. Only about 49
players
seconds after Carter scores, Wayne Simmons
Yes.
gets it right back. But the craziest thing is how it happens. Because Oscar Lindblom, who set up Nolan Patrick against the Anaheim Ducks the other night
He
beautifully,
set up
set up
pretty much the
Wayne
same
Simmons,
thing
but
with
in almost the exact same way. Great play. And then about 4 minutes later, Lindblom himself gets a goal. But this one, it took some time to
I
clear
thought for
up.
sure it was going to be reversed.
I did too, because they ruled it a goal on the ice right away. Because what happened is Voracek centered the puck to Lindblom right out front of the net, and it was hard to tell first glance. It looked like, as he's falling down, he kind of just tipped it in or something.
Yeah.
But the replay closely shows
That he
that
hit his skate.
he didn't
and then he fell over.
hit his skate. He kind of fell over, but and what at least I thought it was a distinct kicking motion, which it was. The only reason why it was not a distinct kicking motion and no goal was because the Kings player had his stick in front of Lindblom's skate. So
I kind of agreed with Jonesy when he was going over the play. I thought the stick was above.
That's what I thought. It's
but
literally impossible to tell from that angle.
Why it was a goal is they felt Phaneuf was knocking him down, and that's what made him
and that
go
too.
that way.
And that's another possibility. Actually, I think.
Because I believe it was Phaneuf that knocked him down.
I think you're right.
Or at least it was the stick that kind of forced him to kind of fall over.
Because I definitely did see some sort of explanation. I need to find
I'm
this
sure
really
you
quickly.
did. They typically tend to.
Yeah, because anytime there's like a weird play, especially one like that, they go over it. Oh, where was this? But it was certainly a weird play. It took a long time.
Yeah, it did. I'd never seen one take that long before.
Yeah, seriously. And the broadcasters made up a very good point. If it takes a certain amount of time, but exceeds the amount of time given, then it should whatever the call is, should stand.
What JJ was saying with the baseball and kind of MLB rule and NHL rule is that if it takes this long, then it should just count.
Exactly.
What also I liked about it is that Jeff Carter scored against his former team, and
Wayne Simmons scored against.
My turn.
Okay, sorry.
My turn. My turn.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
No, that's what I was saying. It was Simmons saying that. And then at the end of the period, with like 2 minutes left, it was Kovalchuk.
Yes.
And that's when I thought, oh no.
Yeah, because I thought, oh boy, here we go.
The Flyers looked. The only time they looked kind of bad in this game was the end of
was
the
towards
second.
the end of the second with
because they were
3
stuck in
minutes
their
left?
zone for a long time with
Failed clears and everything. But I agree.
Kovalchuk
It was
had a couple chances.
He
night
did,
too.
and also Christian Fallen rocked him last night.
I don't know if he really rocked him.
All right,
It's
that's
more
fair.
that he kind of avoided the hit.
Actually, no, because well, at first glance, real time, it looked like it, but I forgot because it was interesting. Well, and actually, I did want to get your opinion on this. So last night, it was in the first period. I want to say,
the hit on
Ilya Kovalchuk by
it
Christian
happened like the
Fallen.
maybe first 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
of the
that
game.
sounds about right. Kovalchuk was roaring up the ice, and then he kind of chips the puck past
because he
Fallen.
Because he sees that hit's coming, so he's trying to get out of the way, but he couldn't.
But
get
what he
completely out of the
did
way.
was he kind of slowed down himself, and then Fallen hit him with the puck going past him. Do you think that should have been interference? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
I also don't know. I kind of get it, but I don't know why they went after Fallen either, because it wasn't a dirty hit or anything.
It wasn't a dirty hit. You could argue it was interference, but the fact that Kovalchuk saw the hit was coming and the puck was going past him, it went off his stick.
And the Flyers got lucky there because shortly into the not shortly, but like maybe a minute into it, they went 5-on-3.
Yes.
Thanks to Yuri. And I think I even told you, like, oh, good old Yuri. I texted you. I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Guess we went 5-on-3. Like, great.
Perfect. But
they're going to score. They're going to score twice and
yes.
take the lead or something.
But the Flyers PK, They looked great, except for the one goal. They were
that was not.
they were 4 for 5 on the PK.
Yeah,
I don't like the fact that they had 5 penalties.
that's
But-
not good.
Yes.
They only had one power play themselves.
Yeah, and they're 0 for 1. And this is the first time in quite some time where they were easily outnumbered in the face-off circle.
They lost against Anaheim too in the faceoffs.
Yes,
But that
that's
one was
true.
a little closer. It was 54.
Right, but this
46.
one it was 62-38 in favor of the
But
LA
also,
Kings. What
if you look
percent?
at the Kings, they have good centers.
That's a great point.
I mean, Kopitar is one of the best centers in the league.
Oh, for sure. And moving on to the third period, it was still a tight game until
And I found this really surprising when I saw it out. But that was it was Giroux scoring.
yes.
And it was Couturier's first assist of the year.
Yeah, and do you know who also got their first assist of the year? Brian Elliott on Robert
Yeah,
Haig's
empty
empty
netter.
net goal, and Haig fired the puck from practically behind his own net or just a little bit in front of and put that game away. 5-2 Flyers win.
What makes me even
Yeah.
makes it I think Charlie or someone pointed it out. Last year he had 9 points in 70-some games or something. He already has 7 points this season.
Haig?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Good for him. He deserves it. And another player who deserves a lot of the ice time is Travis Sanheim, who he's certainly been playing great.
He's playing great, but they're not playing him ever.
Yeah. He had, 13 minutes last night?
13 and a half minutes last
Oh.
night. And that game before in Anaheim, he played, wait for it, 14 minutes, a little over. Jordan Wheel
Sure.
had more minutes than him. Nothing against Jordan Wheel, but
Right.
yeah. But it's weird because the game before, Lundblom only played 12 minutes in Anaheim. And then the next game he played 14. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Sanheim. Because him and Gudis have been the best D pair all season. At least the most consistent. And not really messing up as much between those two of them. But for some reason, Sanheim's minutes, ever since he played 20 minutes, has slowly gone down.
Yes.
I don't know why, but they have.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's definitely
And God forbid
A
we don't
curious
give
thing.
Christian Fullen like 20 minutes a game, 18.5 minutes.
Yeah. But one player that I did like a lot, Nicholas Aubé-Kubel,
Yeah.
he played phenomenal. He only played 8 minutes, but it's double the
Aubé-Kub-
amount of time
he
he
Kubel's
played
been,
in the first game.
Aubé-Kubel's been noticeable in the first 2 games he's
Mhm.
played. I mean, he's played a total of 13 minutes or 14 in the 2 games, but you know. He's still, with the time he's had, he's been noticeable in a positive way, not a negative way.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why, because this is something I brought up to you before before we started the podcast. Why, for some reason, because the game before they went on this road trip, they had Vorobiev play 3 minutes it was,
That sounds about right.
and because they didn't trust him, and I guess they didn't like how he played, and they were losing, so they went, okay, let's try to come back from this. But Aubé-Kubel playing 5 minutes the other day doesn't make sense to me because you're pretty much winning or at least still ahead here. So what's the point of limiting his time there? I get he's a young player.
Yep.
It's the first game, but let him play. They give him 3 more minutes here, but last night's game, but still, kind of wish he played more. But at the same time, Scott Laughton only played 11 minutes.
Something seems wrong about that.
It does, but that's what it says. It says Scott Laughton,
I
11:06.
kind of hope that's the type of, but I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
Um,
Because they put him to the 4th line, but
yes.
and for some reason ever since they moved Weiss, the 4th line's been out there less. Or Yori only played 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Not I don't mind that. It's just the Aubé-Kubel and
Yeah.
Law, and I wish were playing more. And it's a weird thing because I've noticed this too since Hakstol's kind of come to or been the head coach of the Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
There's always one or two guys that he really likes going with that everyone hates. This season it seems to be Weiss and Folan.
Yes.
Last year it was Yori at times and McDonald and Manning.
Yes.
And it always seems like whenever they're like, what are they doing? Why is Weiss on the third line? It's all the time they win right after. It's like, of course.
Pretty much.
But then it's not something that lasts either. Like, for example, like in Game 5, they put Filppula on the first line. They had they finally put Haig back in the lineup, and they put Oscar Lindblom
that was
in the
Game
press.
6. Haig was back in.
No, I thought it was Game 5. Because then they won that game, and then they went to the next one. Like, oh, of course.
Yeah, but I think it is definitely a little puzzling how Dale Weiss got more ice time than both Oscar Lindblom and Scott Lawton.
I don't know what he sees in him, but for certain.
And Travis Konechny.
Yeah, he did.
And Jake Voracek. Voracek at 15:08. Weiss had 15:59.
What about the game before? I don't want to.
Oh boy, this is lovely. But
okay, 14 minutes that time. That time, Konechny played 2 minutes more.
Okay. Konechny, he's kind of had.
Oh, Dale Weiss played more to Travis Sanheim in Anaheim.
That's fun.
And last night too.
Nice.
Because Sanheim only played 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Give those 15 minutes to Dale
Haig
Weiss.
played 20 and a half. I think
he's with
awesome.
Provorov, so
That makes sense. Yeah.
so did Gudis. Gudis played about 20.
Provorov played 26 minutes. I love that.
Mm-hmm. I do too, and it won't be long before he starts taking up more ice or getting either more ice time or the longer ones.
Right.
Like see with the Drew Doughty or something like that.
Yeah.
Because Drew Doughty is the leader in ice time this season at least, which is
Doughty's been remarkable.
Yeah. How would you rank him?
Doughty?
Yeah.
I
I put him third in defense. I say Carlson.
Eric Carlson.
I think for my top 3 it would be Hedman, then Carlson, then Doughty.
That's fair. Where would you put? Talking defensively or just as a defenseman?
As a defenseman, just
okay. Where would you put like someone like Roman Josi? Number 4 or 5?
Maybe like 7. I don't know. He is a good defenseman, but I don't know.
They did actually. So NHL.com released an article on August 12th listing the top 20 defensemen. They do. I'll start from the top 5. Number 5, PK Subban. Number 4, Brent Burns. 3, Eric Carlson. 2, Drew Doughty. And 1, Victor Hedman. So they list Hedman as the top defenseman.
That's how I had him.
He actually won the Norris Trophy last season.
Did he?
Yeah. I actually didn't know that. I thought it was someone else. But
I did not know that either.
It was the first time he was voted the best defenseman in the NHL. He scored 17 goals, tied for the most among defensemen with Provorov and Dougie Hamilton of Calgary, and his 63 points ranked 5th. He had a plus 32 rating, and that was his NHL career high, and second among NHL defensemen behind Josh Manson of the Anaheim Ducks, who had a plus 34 that year. He was only 27 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay has a lot of talent, and speaking of which, I don't think we mentioned this just yet on air, but they announced they re-signed.
We haven't.
Yanni Gourde to a 6-year deal. Where was this? Sorry, I lost my place. But it was a 6-year deal for Gourde, and there's apparently a no trade clause for the first 3 years, and it's a $5.166 million average. I think Tampa Bay did a great job locking him up, but also so far this season, according to CapFriendly.com, only 3 Lightning forwards are averaging over 1 power play goal. And Gourde is one of them, along with Kucherov and Braden Point. Braden Point is also on an expiring contract, and will be an RFA without arbitrary rights on July 1st. So, with Point now signed, you kind of wonder what. Well, I got to look at Cap Friendly to see what exactly their the Tampa Bay Lightning's cap situation is like, because they got to re-sign.
That's not good.
Yeah, and it's not good. They have 1.9 mil, and they still need to re-sign Braden Point. So, luckily for them, though, actually,
they have a couple guys that are.
I lied. There it is. So they have Anton Strawman, Braden Coburn, and Dan Girardi all expiring or in some of their heavier contracts. Strawman 4.5, Coburn 3.7, and Girardi 3 mil.
I mean,
honestly, I think you can afford to lose all three of them, because at least Girardi and Coburn, I don't know how well they have been playing for Tampa. Strawman, I think, is one of the better ones out of those three.
Was it you that said Tony Bartel was sent down?
Yes.
He's still, or Cap Friendly still has him on their roster.
Yeah, I did see that, actually. I think he's just scratched right now.
Probably.
But for some reason, I could have sworn I saw
they're gonna sign Braden Point.
Oh yeah, no, for
and
sure.
And he's the only remaining big contract they have to worry about
for right now.
Signing wise,
yes,
they have to worry about
for right now, because after 2019, 2020, they got re-signed Andrei Vasilevsky, and he's going to get a hefty contract.
What's a good contract for a goalie?
Well, he's on a $3.5 mil contract right now. He's 24. That's pretty solid. I don't want to look at a contract like Carey Price.
Yeah.
Because even Carey Price, his contract's kind of ridiculous.
What is? Because he's the highest paid goalie, but
I want to look at a player like Jonathan Quick.
That's literally what I'm doing. He's at $5.8 million.
Okay, that I could see, because Quick and Vasilevsky are very similar goalies.
Yeah,
5.8.
Just curious. What is Tuukka? $7 million. Okay.
And then Price is just a ridiculous amount, right?
Montreal.
Because I think
$10 million.
Oh my god,
10.5.
For a goalie, that's too much. I think
it is, but he is their best player.
Well, that's fair, and probably one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the league.
Yeah, because he's the guy that can help make or break the Canadians. Essentially,
I just think that for a goalie such like Andrei Vasilevsky, he's only 24. He should get at most Pekka Rinne money, which is what you said, 7 mil, 7.5. Even that.
Oh no, that was the 7 mil was for Matt Quick or Quick. Sorry,
Quick. Okay. What's Rinne?
Rinne, I mean, he is older, but his is at $7 million.
Okay,
but he's also a free agent after this year, and he's not going to get. He's 35, and he's not going to get that same.
No, definitely not. I think that Vasilevsky is going to at least get 5.5.
Ronnie H, you want to get on that?
For which one?
Pekka Rinne.
Yeah, I would go with that. I don't know if I would pay him 7 mil because he's 35. I'd pay him what, 5? Would that be reasonable?
What's Simmons' contract?
Simmons, I can tell you.
So you do like a 1-for-1 thing, him for Simmons.
Interesting.
They both have 1 year left. They both would have to eat up some cap.
Simmons is 3.9.
Okay. Just if there's like still the struggle with the Flyers, then if they
yes, that would be an interesting thought though. Simmons for Rinne.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you just basically do 1-for-1, or if you're the Flyers? Because honestly, if I was the Flyers, I would want
second round pick. Cause
I was gonna say
second or third round picks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would at least want some other piece to that trade.
Yeah,
because I get it. Rinne's one of the better goalies in the league, but he's 35. He's up there in age, and Simmons is still 30. He's got at least a solid 4.5, 5 years left. A solid 4 or 5 years, maybe even more for all I know. But
at 33, Brian Elliott has a $2.75 million. I could see Rinne probably getting around that.
Yeah.
He's 2 years older, but
Okay.
and also I wouldn't be surprised if because Nashville's a good backup too, so I don't think they'd be.
It's not Hutton, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It is. Okay.
No, UC Soros.
Who?
UC Soros.
Soros? I've actually never heard of him. But you say he's pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
He's only 23. He's a young guy.
That's good. And
He's
honestly,
already got a shutout this season.
nice. Of course he does. But I think for the Flyers situation, something like that would be pretty interesting, though.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's just if they kind of continue off this kind of fall. But they
right.
seem to be coming back, but I'm not going to
You say anything
hold
quite
too
yet.
much into it. Because you did an article,
did.
last night or
It was
yesterday came
about
out?
2 nights ago, and it came out yesterday at some point about the Flyers, and I posted this to on my Facebook, Twitter, and
Sports Talk Philly.
it's for Sports Talk Philly. It's for because there's the late game surge over the Anaheim Ducks. Can that be a spark that this Flyers team needs right now?
I think this whole road trip could be.
I agree with that. I think this
Because
is
your hardest opponent's coming up in San Jose.
Yes, because I
Which
mentioned down at the very bottom, can the Flyers, because this came out before, this came out yesterday, way before the game for the Kings game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 10:30 start. Can the Flyers continue this type of play after the quality win over the wounded Ducks? Up next, they take on another struggling team in the Los Angeles Kings, who they beat 5-2, followed by the San Jose Sharks, before finally closing out the road trip with a home-and-home series against the Arizona Coyotes. So you got the toughest opponent right here in San Jose. And they actually...
And knowing the Flyers in the past, I'll lose to Arizona because, that's how we do it.
at least one of them.
No, I'm just saying because
Oh, yeah,
the Flyers have already beaten the Ducks and the Kings, who are considered good teams. They're not playing great, but they're considered playoff teams. Arizona's not really, and the Flyers typically lose to the not-so-great teams.
Yeah. But for San Jose, they actually I lost to the Rangers, I think it was the other night. They're 6-4-3, and in their last 10, they are 5-2-3. They lost last night to Columbus 4-1, which is a little surprising. But then again, Columbus, they are third in the Metro. It's 7-5-0. So it's pretty good stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can't sleep on them.
No, for sure, because they're a very powerful opponent, and they've
just because of Carlson and everything. Even though I'm pretty certain they still have him separated with Brett Burns.
Yeah. I think pretty soon they need to switch that up and make him with Brent Burns.
I mean, if you want to shut everyone down, yeah.
That's just what I'm saying.
I can get it for, if you're playing, Edmonton, for example. Nothing against Edmonton at all, but if you're just focus on Connor McDavid. You put the two of them together, you just focus on Connor McDavid. The other team isn't that. I think they have Nugent Hopkins away from him, but you just kind of put someone else against him.
But in speaking about Edmonton really quickly, just because it relates to them.
But before that, I was just going to finish my thought.
Right. Go ahead.
If you're playing a team with a little more depth-wise, then you separate them. That's
yes.
how I would.
No, I think that's a good
idea.
It makes sense. You want to separate that out. I think that would be great for them.
Mm-hmm. But if you really want to shut down,
yes,
put those two
I think
together.
that would be great
Mm-hmm.
to put those two together.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really quickly, and then we can jump to another topic. Evan Bouchard, the 10th overall pick in this past year's NHL draft for the Edmonton Oilers. He did get sent to his junior team for the London Knights, and with less than 10 NHL games played, with 7 already played, his contract will slide at the end of the season, preventing his entry-level contract from burning a year. So
they did that thing of playing 9 NHL games or whatever, and then sending him down.
Yes. So I guess they didn't see everything they wanted to in him, but I still think...
What do you think of that kind of thing?
About the
Getting
rule?
no, doing that thing of, or if you were general manager, doing the 9 games and then send them down, or would he be more like Hakstol, where like if you make the team, you make the team? I'm not doing 9 games.
Right. I think I like the whole
Because
point.
9 games in your first season, I feel like isn't enough to judge.
No, it's not. I kind of like the idea of what Hakstol does, where it's like,
Yeah.
if I think you make the team, you make the team, which
Yeah.
is fair. I
Which
like
he's
that.
done with Patrick. He did it with Konechny. He's done it with
Yes.
all these guys.
Haig.
Even Patrick, he made it his first year.
Yeah,
He did. It wasn't like Provorov or Konechny. They went down their first year.
they did. They did. But I think
I think for Hakstol, it's when he thinks they're ready, they're making the team.
exactly, and that's fair.
juniors.
That's fair.
That's why you don't see Isaac Ratcliffe or Morgan Frost up.
Yes, for sure. Or Carter Hart.
Right, but I'm saying like
Right.
you don't, because those guys are already in juniors. 'Cause
Yes.
Carter Hart you can just put on the Phantoms.
That's okay. I see what
Because
you're
this
saying
guy
now.
was sent back to this junior.
Yeah. I got you now. But right. I certainly think that because my whole thing is that part of me does like the idea where you have up to 10 games for them to play,
Sure.
and then you have to decide whether you keep them or not. But like, I'm glad you did mention this because it's a great point. I don't know if that's enough to really judge
Sure.
a player. But for
We
someone,
saw it with Patrick last year. It took him a couple. I mean, he had some injury problems last
Right.
year and everything, and he was still finding his way in the NHL. But it took him until the second half of the season to find his game.
it really did.
It's taken Lindblom a little longer, but right now it seems like his game's coming along.
Yes.
He played great in Anaheim and LA,
Yeah, that's a great
but
point.
also that line's getting the chemistry that you're hoping for too. The Voracek, Patrick, and Lindblom line. But continue with your thought.
But looking at the defensemen for the Oilers, you have Darnell Nurse, Andre Sekera, Oscar Klefbom, I think Jason Garrison.
That was another name that popped up because they were saying this or showing like the time limits, but Klefbom's one of the top defensemen in ice time this season. I was like, Klefbom? What?
Yeah. Him, Garrison, Adam Larson, Matt Benning, Chris Russell, and then you had Evan Bouchard, but he sent him down. That's not the strongest core.
No.
But I think with veterans like Klefbom, Sekera, and Russell, I think you would want, because you have a young guy in Darnell Nurse. I think that's a great. So far, that's a pretty solid group of defensemen to help guide him and everything. It wouldn't hurt to keep Bouchard up.
No.
I think it would benefit him because he gets more playing time.
But
of course.
also, no one, because it's Edmonton. For
Exactly.
Some reason, they never get any time at all. I don't know if he's struggled in his first couple games or.
I
what
can
are
take
his stats so far?
I was gonna say I can take a look at his stats.
Oh yeah, Cam Talbot's a free agent of season 2, or not? Yeah, 2019, 2020.
He does have so for Bouchard, he's a -5. He has about actually I can tell you up to his last 5 games. In one of those games, he has he scored his first career NHL goal. He's averaging, All right, so in his first game, in his last 5 games, it was 11 minutes, 8 minutes, or 8.5 minutes, 14.5 minutes, a little over 13, and a little over 11 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's roughly around 12 minutes of ice time that comes out to,
Right.
for an average for him. He according to the stat sheet here from hockeyreference.com, he has a good amount of shifts, 13 for 2 of the game, 16 for 2, and 20 for 1 of them. But plus minus, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but
I think it's a dumb stat.
he's had he's taken some shots here and there.
I think it's a dumb stat to base how you are.
Yes, because if I was if I was like a coach or something,
that was always the hit on Sam Gagner, was that his plus minus wasn't the best. But that just means that your team gives up a lot of goals and you're on the ice for a lot of them, which means he was on the ice a lot.
Right. I think that if I was a coach, I wouldn't entirely base off everything for the plus minus. I would actually want to see how he looks with the team and
Right.
see if he has any chemistry and also see how he is
Mhm.
as an overall player. Because for Bouchard,
Because to me, if you're doing the 9 games, you're already kind of seeing how he is in preseason.
Yeah.
Because you're giving him more time preseason anyways.
yes, which
Those
is great.
9 games are just kind of an an add-on to preseason.
Yeah. It really is. So we'll.
Oof. Forgot the Flyers lost 8-2 to San Jose last time.
Yes.
And this time they'll have Joe Thornton. They didn't have him last time.
That's a good point.
But before we kind of get on that, but what do you think of Provorov's play of late?
I think it's been better than it has been at the beginning of the season. He's the last 2 games he scored a goal, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more than just scoring goals for him.
No, I think his goal the other night kind of sparked him, or maybe
Yeah.
they were saying his hit.
I was gonna say it was his hit that kind of changed things around. I can kind of see
bit.
that a tiny bit.
That maybe a little bit, but I think his goal, because I think his struggle at the beginning was what you hear all the time with guys who are struggling, is that they're trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Which is what he was doing by trying to be too offensive to try to get that first goal. And now, since he's gotten his first goal, it becomes a little easier for him to get another one, obviously, and to be back to his self again.
Right. And actually, I did mention in my article, I had some quotes regarding actually Ivan Provorov, because some throughout the season so far early on have been asking if the 21-year-old has been playing hurt, but according to Provorov, Hakstol, and even Hakstol, that's not the case, and he's healthy. Provorov said after Tuesday's win, "I think it's just another game for me. I felt great since preseason, just playing my game today. I got a goal, but it's not changing my goal. If I do get points in some games I don't, it doesn't mean I'm playing worse than the other games." Hakstol said Provorov was good tonight. Again, this is following the Anaheim game. Provorov draws a lot of attention. Sometimes when things don't go well for our team, he draws the negative attention. But you've got to remember he's playing against the other team's best player every night. Hey, that's his job. He loves that challenge. Tonight he was good. He's on top of everything. And he was very sharp. So I like the idea that Hakstol is defending him right away, and the fact that you can see how you can kind of see how much of a leader he is right there in that statement alone. Because considering the fact that Hakstol says he draws the negative attention,
Right.
and I think he's only 21. He's literally a year.
Right.
He's a year younger than we are, which is scary to think. But I think that Provorov, he's he's a young veteran, basically. Yeah. He's remarkable at what he does. Again, he goes game in, game out.
Again, it's what Hakstol always looks for these young guys. He has a great hockey sense.
Oh, for sure. It's fantastic. But I do think that Provorov has been much better these past few games. What do you think?
Absolutely. This road trip, I think, is going to be his turnaround, I think, this season. And it's going to go back to what he was all last season and what he's been since coming into the NHL. This great kind of shutdown kind of defenseman. Now that he has some offense, that kind of sparks him more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
bet now Couturier is going to get more assists just because he got his first one last night.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Drew got a goal finally after a couple games, but but I guess now we can kind of go into tomorrow night's game and San Jose.
Yes, this is another 10:30 start.
Another 10:30 start.
I'm not necessarily looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But luckily, the game on next Monday on the 5th against the Coyotes, that's a 9 o'clock game, so that's better.
That's good. And I have work in the morning. I'm staying up to watch it. It's Saturday night.
All right. So the 6-7 Flyers are in San Jose against the 6-4-3 Sharks.
I hate that I'm looking at their last game. That was a terrible game for the Flyers.
Yeah.
Oof.
That was. 4
goals in the first period, three goals in the third. Oof.
I think that the Flyers are going to have a much better game this game against San Jose.
Yeah.
The fact that they're on the 2-game win streak helps, but the fact that they are going to remember, what the previous game against San Jose was, how awful it was. They are going to play a sharp game. It might be kind of close, but defensively,
I think it's going to be a 3-2 final. Flyers lose.
Okay. I'm going to say 4-2 Flyers actually win this one. The Flyers, they're going to take advantage.
My prediction will be there'll be a fight. The Flyers' first fight this season.
Yes, that's a great prediction.
And I'll say it will be between Robert Haig, because he's been a little more feisty this season.
Yes.
And Evander Kane.
Oh, that's a good one. Kane can throw him pretty good here.
You can also get in the head of people. So
for sure. I would love to see someone like TK and Kane go.
Mm-hmm.
But so you said 3-2 Sharks? Who's your goal scorers?
For the Sharks, Kane, because he scores every time.
Basically.
And Joe Pavelski again, because,
Yep.
Actually,
right.
no, not Joe. That would be Joe Pavelski and Eric Carlson.
Okay.
And, wait, no, that'd be Eric Carlson, because I said 3-2.
And Evander Kane?
Yeah.
And, sorry, one more. So, because you said the Flyers will
it's
lose.
going to be Evander Kane, Pavelski,
and Eric Carlson.
Eric Carlson.
Okay. There you go. And for the Flyers, you got 2?
I'll say Nolan Patrick and Voracek.
Okay.
Actually, no, not Voracek. Sandhill will get his first of the year.
There you go. All right, let's see here. I said 4-2 Flyers. For the Flyers, it's Nicholas Aubé-Kubel with his first career NHL goal. Scott Lawton will connect as well. That fourth line is going to be really clicking tomorrow night.
You think the Flyers are going to win or lose?
Win.
Okay.
Ivan Provorov, he will continue the great streak. He'll get another goal. And the captain, why not? He'll get a goal as well. So that's 4 for the Sharks. I will say Tomas Hertl and Logan Couture.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Hurdle.
Exactly. My fun prediction. Oh, I got to think about this. Because you said the Flyers will get in their first fight between Robert Haig, right?
Yep, Robert Haig
and Evander Kane. I kind of hope that just happens. That way I can just get a text from you saying, oh, my God, I was right.
Mm-hmm.
My fun prediction. This is going to be an interesting one. The Flyers will not give up a power play goal.
Okay.
It's a very, very, very bold prediction,
Yes,
but I'm going to stand by it.
Especially with the talent on that.
Exactly. That's why it's so fun.
I could have said the same thing about last night's game, but they only scored once.
Yes. Yeah, but so that's my prediction, and we'll see what happens. I say Flyers win 4-2. Mike says Flyers lose 3-2.
I don't think you should take anything into this too, but Neuvert was scratched last night too.
He was.
But it was a precautionary thing.
Yes, and they had Calvin Pickard as the backup. That's a great question. I almost forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. I really don't know. I don't like the fact that they did have him as precautionary reasons for his scratch.
Right. I don't either, because, that's not a good sign.
Yes.
Because, how injury prone he is. Because even last year when he got hurt, he wasn't playing at all, and then he just randomly found himself hurt. I hope he's fine, because I'd prefer him to be a backup than Pickard. I'm assuming it's going to be Elliott again, but I wouldn't be surprised if Neubert's in. Unless they put Elliott tomorrow night, and then Monday it would be Neuvert.
Right.
Or maybe vice versa, because I think Neuvert does get in at some point this road trip. Which, so far, is what I said last time, that this road trip has to be at least 5, or at least go 500. And so far, you've gone 500. Even if you lose next 2 games, gone 500 in this road trip.
Yep, that's right.
I said you should split it, and that's what's going to happen.
There you go.
Because they needed something, and it looks like this is it. You kind of hope it continues, but
we'll see what happens.
I don't
though.
really trust. I still don't trust it with Weiss on the third line.
I kind of don't get that.
No.
I don't. And how much playing time he's getting?
No. And seeing how it went up from the other night.
Yes,
It's probably
it's a
gonna
little
go up
scary.
again.
But
Yeah, I think
see what happens.
with that, I think that's kind of where we're gonna end today. See ya.